a number of, hopefully, discussions on paintings that or painters, landscape painters that I like. And this one will be on Edouard Cortes. But as you know, that there's a number of different things about paintings that we hope is conveyed in our paintings. Different items, different emotions and so on that hopefully will sell the painting. Because when the rubber hits the road, we want to sell the paintings. So we want it to be something that buyers like about the paintings. What does the painting say to them? Is it the viewpoint, or is it the abstract pattern, or the tonal values or color? Is it the concept of dividing it up, how they divided up the canvas, or is it the brush strokes? Is it the texture? Whatever it might be. When you study the work of other artists, it will help you to learn to discriminate in order to develop your own tastes and so on. And it'll kind of open up your eyes and your soul to the range of possibilities in painting, both historical and contemporary. We can look at older painters, we can look at painters that happen today or those just in the recent past. And the artist or the buyer will connect with the painting because it fulfills some emotional need, or we tend, I know I tend to paint those things that I like to paint, not because it will sell. That's not the reason that you paint. You paint because you have to communicate. You have to fulfill a need, an inward need to paint in a lot of ways. The exact reason for why one individual may fall in love with the painting is perhaps exactly the same reason why another individual hates the painting. So you can't appeal to all of them, but one thing that it only takes one person to like it enough to buy it, and that's what we're here for. So this is the first of a number of them, I hope. So first of all, Edouard's painting. Edouard Leon Cortes lived between 1862 and 1969. Actually, he died the year I graduated from art school, the first time. He was a French post-impressionist, French and Spanish ancestry, and he is known as le poète Parisien de la peinture, or the Parisian poet of painting. And I like his stuff. I really do. And so let's go over this painting here. It's called A Little River Near Paris. So let's look at this thing. We see a lead in here. Let me go back a little bit. Excuse me. Whoa. Sorry. Okay. All right, now I'll get the brush. Okay. So, one of the things that I like to look at are what brought me to this painting. Why do I like it? It's because of the brush strokes, the textural qualities of the paint. Also, the idea that he used a lot of transparent areas of the painting, and then introduced on top of that, some really strong textural qualities in the lights, on the lights areas. You try to keep the transparencies to the darker areas or dark. The sun's direction is from the upper left to the lower right, casting shadows from the trees on the left across the building and then onto the river and then up on the bank on the we could right include side. The whole thing. That's a dark foil for the building around it. It kind of introduces a round circular pattern or an oval circular pattern where our eye is focused and so on. You'll find, I just lost my cursor. Okay. So you find that other areas of the painting, first of all, let's see, I'm going to go back here, put this up here. Okay, so we see some sun right in here getting through. It introduces, which allows us to jump into the painting in a way, but also we've got this strong lead-in right here, and then here we've got. There are actually a couple focal points here. We've got one focal point here. We've got another one over here, and we're jumping from this dark to this dark over here in this painting. They're accents almost, dark accents of the strong darks of the men. It's clothing, and then the dark underneath the bridge, and then the dark way over to this side as well, in this area. So we're jumping back and forth, and it kind of creates a vibration of sorts, which is all right. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I go from being introduced into the painting here, then along this roof area, hitting this dark, which I can't help but do. I hit this dark, and I'm brought back down through this lighter area here. And so I've got this circular pattern here, which is kind of neat. It makes me move around the canvas. So what do we have here? We've got like 1 point perspective. I think our vanishing point is about right down here, and then, follow this one back, as well as this one back, and so our focal point is right in this area right here for the 1 point perspective. But anyway, I like this painting. I notice that the sky is light, of course. It's got some reds and some color into it. It's a good idea to put some color into it. Like he's pulling some reds out of that. He's using some of the pinks, I should say, of that shirt area, pulling that up. That pinks, those same pinks, are found in the trees. They're found in the shadow areas of the building and so on, which is a complementary purple and mauves and foil against the yellows of the building, which is quite effective. So the color is working really good for us. We see that looking at the foliage, for instance, we see that he's using larger areas of darks and lights, but he's gluing all of the leaves together in bunches and so on. We don't see single leaves much here. Maybe only in the peripherals are we seeing any of the leaves, such as right up in here, maybe a little bit over here, and so on. But generally, all of these leaves, you know, he's pulling them all the darks together, which is a really great thing to do. He's pulling all the darks together here in this tree, and in this tree with the foliage, he's pulling all of this together as well. And you know, there's some variances in there and so on, but you don't have to give much information to say tree or that kind of thing. You don't want all the detail to be on the peripherals of the painting in the first place. So in this instance it works. I love what I love about this painting also is, and let's see if I can scoot up on this. It's kind of hard sometimes because I can't find this cursor because it's so small. Okay, look at some of the lights. Look at some of these lights right here. Right in here. Oh, whoops. We're pixelating now. There. Look at the, it's the brushwork and so on here. Let's see, notice the brushwork here and the brushwork around here. It's really great. It's really thick too, application of paint that he's using in these areas. It works fine. So pretty great. I want to now go to another one of his. Get rid of that one. And you see here, this is called the Printemps and Normandy. So here, using one-point perspective as well, vanishing point is exactly right here. Let me go to the brush here again, and oh, here, okay, here it is. Here's the vanishing point right in this area. Subject area right here. Notice that he's dividing noticing that he is dividing this canvas 1/3 here. Excuse me. 1/3 here. And here's a halfway point right here. Halfway point of the canvas. So we're hitting about 1/3. He's got the vanishing line, or horizon line, I should say, on the 1/3. Rule of thirds, the lower grid area on that line, and then he's got this end of the building here on the first third line right here, and then he's got this right here on this line. He's got the end of the building, and he's just putting this. Notice that this man is off center from the halfway point, and the halfway point is about right here. Right here. Let's see if I can get rid of a lot of these lines. Okay. So the halfway point is probably right here. So just off center. He doesn't put that right on center, which is really great. And notice the introduction of the blues. With all these worms up here in the front, we've got a number of blues. We've got this bluer area here, in this area. All of this here is also dividing using that bluer area. You know, as it's really pretty good because really, although it's not a really dark area, everything's very light pretty light in this painting. But it's a good idea to have for all. You'll notice that the whole thing is a dark as opposed to the sky. You know, the buildings, the foreground, everything is a dark, taking up around 30-40% of the canvas, while the rest of it is sky area in this area. You'd think that then, okay, are we looking at sky? Is that the most important? No. He's alleviated the sky by putting this large excuse me, this large tree in here. Otherwise, it would make me look at that cloud, and I'd want more definition of the cloud and so on because of the low horizon line. It's lower than, you know, it's fairly low on the horizon anyway. It's not really down here, but it's below the midpoint for sure. I want to also discuss one other painting here. Great use of texture, extra texture in the lighter areas and so on. You want to make sure that your brush strokes in the sky are smaller, of course, and as they recede in the distance, the brush strokes should get less. He's using the blue atmospheric perspective to blue this back area here as well as the buildings because they're adobe and could be possibly fairly warm. Even this lit area, he's not lighting up the area. Ooh, I'm losing. Okay. He's lighting this area up because the sun is in this direction. But notice that it's not as light as he could have done it because he doesn't. That's not the subject matter. The man is a subject. The man is a subject matter here. So works. I like it. It's okay. Let's go and get rid of him. I thought I should throw a street scene in here because I know people like that as well. It's part of landscape. So this is quite nice. Notice this large area dark here. It almost comes down here and then it goes around. But anyway, notice that large area. That it takes up about, well, more than half of the whole thing. And then you have the sky, which is reflected into the pavement. Below, pavement, of course, is a little bit darker than the sky. But the sky and the reflection are still part of the same thing in a lot of ways. And then he's breaking it up with these two circular and interesting light areas right here. So that's really great. Notice the perspective he uses of a delineated form from large to small, people in the background and so on. Very small way in the background. You see that very small. Now, also notice that atmospherically, perspective-wise, all of this is a grade blue, way in the background. He's not, and then it also thrusts it into the background, because what you have is you got many veils of moisture in a painting, especially one on a foggy day and so on, especially a Paris scene, probably early morning, after a rain, of course. We always have the reflections. The reflections are really neat to put in a painting, so everybody's got wet paintings. Or soon after it's rained. Notice the great use of a smaller area of yellow here. Direct complement to all the other blues that are found not only in the building, but also in the background. So that is really attractive. But not only that, what do we go to first? Because the whole thing is more of a cool painting. We're going to the warm areas. The lightest light, the lightest warmth that we find in this painting is right in here. And what else? I mean, I looked right away. It draws me right to that point. I can't do anything but. He makes sure that we don't go zipping off the painting this way, which is because, and we won't, because we've got this tree here, we've got this thing to stop us, and so we're buttressed, we fall down, we go around this area. And then we kind of climb this area again and then go back down. We will meander over here, or I will meander over here, but we feel like we're weighted down and can't leave because of this blue. Also, we've got the thrust lines of the cloud area in here, going against the eye from leaving. There is, and that's great. He's doing everything right. I really like it. Of course, we got some accents, dark accents and so on, but he doesn't. This dark accent is way over to the sun, and it's not that dark. It's blued a lot. So, we got the lightest light, the warmest warmth, the coolest dark accents right in here, and some dark accents here. So it's a painting that works, and it works effectively. So you can see he really uses the warm, cool aspect of painting here that really does something for us. I really like it. It's a painting that looks like it wants to be purchased. Why? Because it appeals to your warmth. It appeals to the idea that there's action, there's people moving, there's activity. It looks active. There's the really cool blue and the really warm yellows, just to say, hey, buy me, I need you. So I really like this painting. Really great. Works really effectively. I don't know. I think I might even have one more. So let's look at this. This is a pastoral scene, sort of. It's a country scene. And we have this tree is off center, but we've got this excuse me, just wait. We've got these lead lines that bring us right up here. And here's a dark, we've got probably the strongest edge is right in this area. And so that's what we look at. We're not, the people are secondary to this area. I know that sounds funny. But the first thing I see is a tree, then I see the building, and then I come back. I follow, I see this, I then see this, I then move back here again and center upon this for a while, and then come back here again. Very effective. A lot of atmospheric perspective. And back here, this is almost lost to the sky here. Notice that the sky is stronger here. Excuse me. The sky is, the sun is coming from this way, evidently. We see that it's catching this area here, flowing across this open, and then notice here that we have an artist that uses the true complement to the yellow. We see in the middle, we see here that this blue-purple here, some of these purples in here are the true complements to the brilliant yellow right in here, and this area right in here. We've got a discord colors right here, and a little bit of discord right in this area, in this area right here. There's some discord, and all in all, we've got, and then the greens, of course, are analogous, and the yellows and oranges are yellow, analogous to the yellow areas. And then, of course, we got the yellows here, and here, and here. Direct complements to. People would say, well, I see this as a first. This is my first focal point. You know what? Yeah, I agree to some extent, but these lines are so strong that I have to go over here. If that means that maybe the painter did something wrong there. Maybe they're too strong. Maybe these should have been, maybe around in here and so on, should have been muted or brought enough of this green into this area and so on, so that these lines would not have been so strong. Maybe that's true. But if he wanted these to be number one, these people, he should have constructed a little bit differently. But I don't think that's to his detriment, because I think he meant for this to be first and this to be second over here. So that's in my discussion here on the paintings of Edouard Cortes, living between 1882 and 1969. I like his stuff. I really like his texture. I like a lot of things that he does. And we can learn by everyone. So that's my ending of my first discussion of painters that I like. So again, like, subscribe, and come back again for next time. Bye.